The issue of 2 is to their satisfaction, but responded to the best of our ability, and that we can offer. So can you allow me to respond, Chair?
Yeah, I will allow you to respond. So we will allow the auditor to finish the 1.3, reading out, and then the governor will respond to the entire issue number 1, which has 3 parts. Ready?
Chair, I'll respect that because, and as I said, it's the committee to make a decision. But this is a committee that looks at audited queries. That means that the written responses is what strictly guides my thinking and my thought. You know, I'm saying this actually in favor of Nairobi County and the Nairobi governor, because this is the written responses that the governor has sent. And when you look at those written responses, Chair, with what the auditor is raising as not addressed, they are similar. So it will be an exercise in futility, because even if the governor tells us a lot of stories, at the end of the day when we retire, it is the written response that will inform us. And this written response, Chair, 2 things are emanating. They are first, not adequately looking at what the auditor is talking about. They are also not responding to some of these questions that are very substantive. So it's either we choose to spend time going through them, as you have said. I don't have a problem with 1 or 2, 3 of them, but I'm just saving you the face that from what I've read in this, because some of us take the time to read them, okay? From what I've read in this, Chair, is not adequate, and you're going to meet the same. So,
can I make a request, just on behalf of the people of Nairobi? I think it is important for these conversations to be had. And Governor, I think you are slightly misguided on an issue, that the audit does not happen in the Senate. It is not us you need to convince. It is the Auditor General who you need to convince. As you would look around this table, many of us are not professionals even in accounting. We are, you know my profession, I'm a lawyer. These officers are here to guide us. They are the ones you need to persuade or convince that an issue has been sufficiently addressed. I am also audited, as you know, as SG of ODM. The responses we give are to the satisfaction of the auditor, not anybody else. So if the auditor says, Governor, that of all this material that you've presented here, you have only partially responded satisfactorily to 2, it should bother you as the CEO of the county. So my suggestion would be the same. Let us try and test these responses, because some of them, just from a cursory look here, are just ridiculous explanations. And if you insist proceeding, Governor, let us proceed.
Chair, that's why we're here, to proceed.
Yeah, honorable members, let's proceed. Let's proceed. So, Auditor, please finalize with the 1.3.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Paragraph 1.3, active accounts not billed, the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, and as disclosed in Note 6, the financial statements reflects an amount of Kenya shillings 10,949,295,622 in respect to operating revenue for the year ended 30th June 2024. Comparative analysis of water meters and billings revealed that as of 30th June 2024, a total of 10,192 active accounts did not receive any billing during the review period. It was not clear how the active accounts were not billed for the whole year and yet were still active. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of operating revenue of Kenya shillings 10,949,295,622 could not be confirmed. Thank you.
Okay, Governor, your responses.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, on the first question, and thank you for the opportunity to respond to that. The issue of estimated accounts for more than 6 months is due to inability to access meters. And I'll allow the MD to give you more details of what we're doing, because the areas where just accessibility. The gates are closed.
Maybe
gates.
before you allow the MD, just read the responses verbatim as it is.
To address this, the company is sensitizing the customers on self-meter reading through SMS reminders and the location of meters outside the gate for accessibility. I'll ask him to expand on that.
MD?
Thank you so much, Chairman, the Governor, and the members of the committee. It is true.
Engineer
there are
Muguna,
meters.
just put the mic closer to.
It is true there are meters we have estimated over a period of time. And most of the accounts we estimate, the accounts which we cannot be able to assess because maybe the gates are locked, the owners are not in the house. And what we are doing on such accounts, we have upgraded our billing system so that we can be able to be sending SMS reminders to our customers whom we are estimating their accounts. Once we estimate 3 times, we send you, or rather if we are unable to read for 3 months, we send you an alert telling you we are unable to assess your account. The other thing is, if you become notorious, we actually write to you and tell you the meter must be moved from inside your compound to outside your compound, or where we can be able to assess it easily. And that's what we are doing with the many customers in this category. Thank you.
Honorable members, let me start with Senator Sifuna.
Yeah, so Chair, just let's try that response, Governor. These are 15,320 specific accounts.
Yes.
You are telling us for 6 months, you go and there's no one at this gate. 6 whole months, 6 times, that's half a year before the Auditor General flags it.
Now, what we are saying is we are aware about this account, and this is
That's
what
not
we
the
are
question.
doing.
For 6 months, every single time your officers go there, there's no one at home to open the gate. That's what you're telling the Senate.
Yes.
Okay.
The gate is locked and nobody is landed to open the gate.
Let me hear from the auditor.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Our expectation would have been if an account is estimated maybe in 1 or 2 months, then there should be some efforts to access the bill. I mean the meter readings, maybe the second or the third month, but not 6 months. 6 months, I think, is too long.
Senator Eddy?
Chair, you'll understand my frustrations, and that's why I was requesting that perhaps this just from the first response, I would have asked the governor to go and respond adequately, because the query is very simple, and I want it to go on record that this is the response that is official. Well, I know they'll be unanswered. The responses that is it the chief officer?
The MD.
The MD is giving is unanswered, yes, but the written response here is very, very important. Chair, that query has got 2 portions. Okay? There are accounts that were billed and not paid for throughout the year. The governor's response to that entire query is that the accounts are estimated due to inability to access the meters.
No, that's a different question, Senator Eddy. I was answering 1.1.
Yeah, we are still on 1.1.
Yeah, that's 1.1.
But you're asking 1.2.
No, wait. It is 1.1, 1.2.
The answer I've given, which you have asked me to read out, is 1.1.
Yes.
So wait for me to answer 1.2.
Yeah, I'm coming to that.
But accounts billed and not paid for is not about access.
I'm coming to that. Just be patient, Governor. Okay? You have got 15,000 accounts that had been estimated consecutively for more than 6 months for the period July 1st, 2023 to June 2024. The estimated bills for those months are given there. The reason why they are related all the way to 1.3 is because this is now the denotation. The notation basically shows what could have explained 1.1 in terms of accounts that were billed, okay, and what could have showed the accounts, active accounts that were not billed. You get what I mean?
No.
So,
You know, I've given my answer. If you have another different answer, it's a different.
no, it's not about your answer.
Are you asking a further question?
It's about the audit.
Honorable members.
Chair, can I seek a clarification from you?
Honorable members, please. I know you are anxious to ask questions.
Governor.
But let's follow the procedure.
Systematic. 1.1.
First of all, the question, it's the chair to give you a chance to ask a question. You don't just ask here without the approval of the chair. And then number two, let's be systematic. You know, we are getting mixed up. We are handling 1.1. Let us exhaust the issue of access. Like Honorable Sifuna had asked, surely for 6 months, you can't access the premise to check the meter. I mean, once we have exhausted that, then we will go to the issue number 1.2, which the governor will respond to and will ask questions. Because we are now wasting time by going back and forth on these issues.
So, Chair, my understanding of this query is simple, okay? They are all correlated. There's a correlation here. That's why I wanted to ask that if it's possible,
okay,
let the governor read all the responses up until 1.3, then you'll see the correlation I'm trying to bring. Because when you look at how number 1 has been answered, it informs number 2, where number 2, the issue of billing, the account accounts billed and not paid have been brought, but the issue of distribution of the modeling is the answer, the response.
They're not connected at all. Number 1 is accounts where you have not seen the meter.
Yeah, Chair.
Number 2, we have billed them, but they have not paid.
We understand that, Governor. Just maybe on that same question, clarification from the engineer or from the governor. Governor, paint for us a picture of these 15,000 accounts. Where ordinarily are these accounts that you would go for 6 months? Are they secure? Is this state house or is it security installations? Where are these places? Because you cannot tell me, with all the force that we see you, with all the force that we see the county government of Nairobi, even breaking down gates, there was an institution there, what was it called, a mosque or a synagogue, that you were clamping for it with all the might of Nairobi County government. You are telling us there's 15,000 people who you cannot access their meters, and also shed some light on who is supposed to do relocation of meters. Whose job is that to do relocation of meters? Engineer, just tell us where these 15,000 are. Are they security installations? What are they?
So, okay, let me combine the questions. Senator Kisang,
Thank
Senator
you,
Mbugua, and
Chair.
then the governor will respond to all of them.
Thank you, Chair. You
And,
remember,
Amida.
Chair, you remember I told you earlier, number 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 4 were very closely related. We would have answered all of them together if you had accepted, but we accept your direction. Number 1, Chair, on estimated accounts for more than 6 months. You know, the governor and the CEO has told us they are doing sensitization, but you know, they have not come out clearly to say they are already giving notices. If I cannot open my gate in Karen, there should be something you will drop under my gate so that in the evening when I come home, I'll have a notice from the county government saying, please allow us, or we give a date so that the meter can be relocated outside the gate. And then secondly, Honorable Speaker, I expected also, the CEO and the governor to tell us, if it is difficult to access, what plans do you have then to install smart meters so that you can disconnect without going there?
Yes, Senator Mbugua.
Thank you, Chair. Governor, I know these responses were prepared for you by your staff, but with all honesty, it is not possible that for 6 months consecutively, the same number of 15,320 from month 1 to 6. You are not, it was not able to access. Probably it have been, the response would have been more accurate if this number is differing from 1 month to the other. But for it to be consistent, the same number for 6 months, it's not practical, Governor. Your people are misreading you.
Senator Amida?
Yeah, I think Bwana CEO was asked what efforts has he made so far. And Bwana CEO, maybe even for example, even where I live, they always give who is this person who takes care, is it the caretaker or someone, gives notices to residents on when the meters are going to be read. And people, all the gates are opened. What legal and policy measures have you taken so far? Because, I mean, it has really taken time. And then how do you implement the fines and the penalties for that? You know, then how do you schedule the meter? Use inspectors. Because like the Kenya Power, they come once, the next time they disconnect, you know, from even the poles or whatever. So what efforts have you made? I mean, it will take about 6 months, seriously. And you've not shown any efforts that you have made.
In fact, this is actually a big improvement, Chair. Chair, 15,000 meters accounts sound so many, but in the wider context, that's 6% of all the accounts in the city, 6%. So let me have the MD answer the specific questions to him. And even, I mean, cases even of attacks of this stuff, the areas where they are repulsed, just give them a full context so that they can understand. But within the context of 15,000 out of close to 300,000 accounts that are metered, that are, you know, they're not estimated, Chair.
No, thank you so much, through the chair again. Let me put it this way. We strive as much as possible to ensure we read all the meters in this town. And all these meters, we have referenced them through GIS system so that we can be able to assess them when we need. And we know where every meter is. At times, our staff go to those premises, actually, and dogs are opened to them. And we can provide evidence for that. At times, staff are crowbarred properly. We can provide evidence for all those things. And they become court cases where our staff want to read the meter, the customers don't want the meter to be read. Or a staff, or whoever is left in the compound is maybe a house helper, and she has instructions. Don't allow anybody to come to this compound. When you try to go in, our staff, those people opens the door for them to mow them. Please, we have been trying to ensure we read all these meters. Just like the governor has said, we have around 250,000 account meters to read. We move around the whole city every month and we ensure these meters are read. These ones which we are saying, people, they are not being read. The others we have actually moved outside the compound, and we can provide evidence that we have been leaving the messages which Mheshimiwa is talking about. We leave even written documents to the customers. Please open your gates so that we can read the meters. Without doing that, we are going to move the meters. And we have been moving meters. We can provide that evidence of moving meters from customers' premises to the road. But
so as we speak today, engineer, of this 15,000
ABY 268V. Nitie gimome en kamano we abo will.
We are sorry.
Okay.
numbers here.
the meters, we know them often.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Would you put the movement at 10% so far? What you have done? Because that's the only solution.
Number.
Yes.
Of the 15,000.
Yes.
If you don't have the answer, don't answer.
I'm
on oath.
Okay.
So you give the
That's
if you don't
good
know the
guidance.
answer, don't.
Chair, I'd also ask to understand the general geography of this 15,000 meters. What is the spread across the city? Where are these places where people have dogs?
It is citywide.
Citywide?
Yeah, including even a place like Buruburu, the areas where people don't allow you to enter.
But Engineer Muguna, through the governor, Have you sought a court warrant to access these premises?
I think it's just it that there are many legal processes, including court cases. I think with such a response, really what I would suggest, Chair, is let's discuss how you can support us to read all of those meters, because we want all those meters, we want that revenue. But we're explaining the context. So you see, if you answer like that, you may not like, we're giving you the reality on the ground.
Yeah,
that is what actually happens.
Governor, we want to help. I think we are in agreement, we want to help. But when you go to the doctor and you tell them you have malaria and it's not malaria, it is something you picked up at summer tides, you know that is a big problem for us. You have to give us the true situation on the ground.
That is the true situation.
The initial answer he gave us here was that they go and find gates locked.
There are gate locks. There are when sometimes if you force the gate to be opened, people open doors, people fight with us.
So how would you like us to help you, Governor? I would be interested to know. Because we
should look at the legislation around how you penalize people who restrict access by public officers to actually bill you, whether it is Kenya Power or Nairobi Water. It should be a huge deterrence. You know, it should be something that is very punitive, and that is the legislation that we can do together with the Senate.
Does that require national legislation? Because it's a matter that is unique for Nairobi.
It requires national legislation.
It's
the same issue in Mombasa.
Have you had this conversation with the Assembly? Because city bylaws are there to help you, Governor.
No. This one needs national legislation because to implement it, you need national police.
Okay.
Not Kanjo officers.
Senator Kisanga had asked about the smart meters.
We can explain the process we are at in getting into smart meters. Maybe you can give an overview.
Thank you so much. On the smart meters, Mheshimiwa, a mechanical meter, or the meters we use today, they have inch meters most of the customers use, who are around 96% of our customers. A smart mechanical meter will cost 3,500 shillings. A smart meter of the same size will cost you around 15 to 20,000 shillings. Now, when you look at what you are going to accrue by changing the meters from mechanical to smart meters, it will take you 20 or 30 years to recover the value. Water is a cheap commodity. The accuracy of a mechanical meter is between 3 to 5%. Accuracy of an electronic meter, I'm not talking about even a mechanical meter changed into a smart meter. I'm talking about a meter, an example of ultrasonic, where you are getting the signal direct being electric. So the errors are very low. That is 0.5 to 1%. Now, when you subtract those errors, that's what the value of what the customer is billed. The difference between the two errors is what becomes the value you are going to accrue by changing the meters to smart meters. When you do the mathematics, you'll actually be creating jobs in a certain country and denying Kenyans jobs here. So it is not my advice to the country to move to smart meters as we talk today. Okay.
Chair. You see, when you say 15,000 accounts, they look small in number comparatively because of the fact that the governor would look at it like, okay, we have tried to estimate 112,000. But you see, this query is a P&L query. It's a query on revenue lost entirely if you go through it until 1.3. And my concern, Governor, and I still go back to it, and it's in good faith, because the documentation here is to help us when we are sitting now to address the queries. I think you address the queries to the auditors, and then we solve the queries. When we sit to solve the queries, is we at the end of the day go to the written responses. You see everything that you are saying there, Governor. Your response to that 1.1 is just one statement. There is no access. But then what the MD is responding to is more comprehensive than what is written here. You see my concern? Because at the end of the day, how you will solve for this issue is pegged on how comprehensive you capture the challenges that you're facing. And then after capturing the challenges that you're facing, highlight some of even the remedies that could be put in place. Because just to say that, because what I'm going with after listening, Chair, is that one, there is no access, and therefore whether there is because of the dogs or the gates are closed, that is fine. But then the substantive response to it is sensitization to the customers. We will do some form of sensitizing the customers, and then hopefully this will work. The reason why that's problematic is because there's two parts of that query. There is those that add some form of access. That's about 97,300. And then there is those that you have consecutively not been able to access the 15,000 in question. The total of them brings you a revenue problem of over 700 million shillings. That's what should ring the bell. That it's not about the 15,000, it's about, or the 112,000, it's about the revenue that's going to be lost as a result of not being able to access them. So I appreciate your response now, which I don't really appreciate in your one statement response to the committee. Chair, I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying. The response here is not comprehensive enough to solve this problem. What you are saying is in fact, I'm now empathetic. But surely, even when Sifuna was asking you about the map, is a question to us going to address where these problems are. So I wish that you could go and become more comprehensive with that answer in your written submission. Because otherwise there's no strategy to address this query at all. And maybe the auditor will be satisfied with the approach of having a comprehensive response to these questions.
Chair, you know, everything we have said is about accessing the meter. If the response is to give wider context, Chair, you'll never respond to all these queries. Because you'll write paragraphs. Now I start describing dogs and start describing house girls being told not to open gates. The question is, why did you estimate? The answer is there was no access. And this is what we're doing to sort out that issue, including relocation of these meters. Now, the reason we come here is to then give further context to the response to our queries. I think that's the reason we have in this session. And it's still part of the process, Chair. So that is our response.
Chair. The big question, Chair, sorry.
Let me ask Mark to weigh in, and then honorable members, because of time, let's move to 1.2, the next one.
Thank you, Chair. From the context of the audit, or when we're carrying out our audit, what would have expected for this query to be explained to clearly was, would have expected a report, because we'd expect that the meter readers write reports to their supervisors to the next level. Until then, we'd see a report indicating these premises will not be accessed because of this issue. And then we'd have expected to see what then that supervisor did towards gaining access. Under the Water Act, we also have the Water Police. Has this been reported to Water Police that we need to access meters for reading? So that then would have formed documentary evidence for us then to be satisfied and to inform this committee that that issue has been adequately addressed. So, Chair, in the absence of that, then we still hold that the matter is still not addressed. Thank you, Chair.
Those are available. I don't think at any point it was asked for.
Yeah.
If you look at the structure, the meter reader is accountable to a supervisor. This goes all the way to the regional manager. Those daily incident reports are available, and we'll be very happy to give them to you.
Chair, just the big question is, why are they being still provided with water? Kwani wanapewa maji mpaka sai?
There are many areas where if you intervene, you will affect those who are properly served, as opposed to these ones who are estimating. And by the way, the issue of estimates vis-a-vis receipts, they are paying. You know, the query is not that these ones who are estimating are not paying, but they're paying based on the estimate, you know. Of course, it will be more efficient if it was, you know, specific, as we have said, which is why I'm saying we need to explore how you help us ensure that Nairobians know it's a crime to deny access to the water meter reader and to the power, electricity, or any other public officer, executing his mandate. So we can give the incident reports, the daily logs. I don't know if were they asked for.
No, they were not asked.
See, Chair, it is for the entity. Once a query has been asked, like that progress report of the number of meters that you've been able to move, what you've done, that would satisfy the auditor, governor, as to what you are doing as an entity. And then you say, progressively engineer